What is going on, everyone? I want to see all the W's in the chat. It is now back-to-back weeks with game-winning drive from our phenom rookie quarterback CJ Stroud. The Houston Texans just defeated the Cincinnati Bengals, who were on a 4-game winning streak. The Texans defeat them 30-27. This is the biggest win in the past 3 years for the Houston Texans, because you beat a playoff team, a team that expects to be there at the end of the season competing for a Lombardi trophy, and you just beat them in their home. The legend of CJ Stroud continues to grow. Throws his second interception of his career late in the game. It felt like the Cincinnati Bengals were going to come back, but oh no. CJ Stroud showed again that he can recover from his mistakes. He does not make the same mistake twice and leads a game-winning drive. It came down to a field goal kicked by new kicker Matt Amendola, filling in for Kaimi Fairbairn. Boys, I am hype because, like I said in the pregame, if you win this game, in regards to CJ Stroud, you have to have conversations of MVP. And you also get to have conversations about the Houston Texans being a legit football team. We are going to talk about this victory. Welcome, everyone, to the 713 Houston Sportcast. I am your host, Ruben Calvillo. As you could tell, I am so excited. I drop daily Houston Texans content, win, lose, or draw. If you were on the live stream with me today, every single week, I do a live stream reacting to the game. We had about 1,000 people deep, so hopefully next week against the Arizona Cardinals, we see the people who weren't there. But shout out to everyone who was with me when we watched this big Houston Texans victory. We just hit 8,000 subscribers, trying to hit 9K by weeks 10 or 11. Please help me get there, and thank all of y'all so much for watching today's video. Now, starting with this Houston Texan offense, it was the most balanced game we've seen all year. What I mean by that, it wasn't just the passing attack led by CJ Stroud. It was the rushing attack, the first time I've said this all season, that helped you win this game as well. Devin Singletary, 30 rushes, 150 yards, the best rushing performance all season. Devin Singletary's first 100-yard performance all year, and a touchdown, 5 yards a carry. Also, Xavier Hutchinson, 1 rush, 17 yards. Tank Dell, 1 rush, 13 yards. CJ Stroud, 2 rushes for 8 yards, and one of them being for a touchdown. I mean, we get to see how this offense is supposed to look when both phases of the offense are working. I mean, there's rushing attack. It got you out of jams. It set you up nicely. Second and short, third and short. And we got to finally see the full potential of this Houston Texan offense when everything is going right. Your rookie quarterback, CJ Stroud, 23 of 39, 356 yards. He is on pace to have the best rookie season ever in the NFL. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, was sacked 1 time. So shout out to the offensive line for keeping CJ Stroud upright and for moving the football on the ground. We had some worries about them not being so successful in terms of run blocking, but they quieted us today with a dominance performance. I mean, 170 yards on the ground. That is crazy. We haven't seen that all year for the Houston Texans. But with CJ Stroud, once again, it came on a game-winning drive. This time by a field goal from Matt Amendola. Shout out to Amendola. We just signed him a couple of days ago. Hit multiple field goals today, one of them being the game winner. So shout out to Amendola. But CJ Stroud finding Dalton Schultz. And Dalton Schultz has had himself a fantastic year for the Houston Texans. When do we get to have the conversation about Dalton Schultz being a top 10 tight end? But Noah Brown, the leading receiver today, 8 targets, 7 catches, 172 yards, 24 yards a catch whenever a big play happened for this Houston Texans passing attack. It was number 85, Noah Brown. Now, this is back-to-back games with 100-plus yards, so Noah Brown is having himself a good season for the Houston Texans, definitely putting himself in wide receiver 3 conversations, filled in nicely with Nico Collins not being able to go today. As I mentioned, Dalton Schultz 4 catches, 71 yards. Rookie wide receiver Tank Dell led the team in targets today with 14, but 6 catches, 56 yards, 1 touchdown. John Mechie, shout out to John Mechie, got involved today, 2 catches, 25 yards. Robert Woods, welcome back, 1 catch on 15 yards, but that came on the 3rd down. Devin Singletary, 1 catch, 11 yards. Mike Boone, 2 catches, 6 yards. 7 different receivers caught the ball today from C.J. Stroud. You love to see that. Overall, this was a performance from your Houston Texan offense. They showed that they could score against some of the best NFL defenses. The Cincinnati Bengals were not allowing opposing offense to score more than 20 points during the 4-game win streak. This was a huge performance by this Houston Texan offense. Shout out offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick. I mean, back-to-back good games. And, you know, I wonder how long until Bobby Slowick starts getting those head coach conversations. With the Houston Texans defense, Joe Burrow, fantastic game, 347 yards, 2 touchdowns. However, 2 crucial interceptions, one of them coming towards the end of the game, intercepted by Shaq Griffin. Huge moment. Rushing attack, Joe Mixon, 11 attempts, 46 yards, 1 touchdown. Joe Burrow, 5 attempts for 20 yards. Their receiving attack, Jamar Chase, 6 targets, 5 catches, 124 yards, 1 touchdown. The big 64-yard to bring them close to the Houston Texans. It felt like momentum was shifting towards the Bengals, but that just did not happen. Tyler Boyd, 8 catches, 117 yards, dropped the would have been game-winning touchdown. I mean, he just cooks Denzel Perryman. Denzel Perryman had a rough day today in coverage, drops the game-winning touchdown. He felt sick. You saw him throw his helmet on the ground. But this was a tough matchup against a very good Cincinnati Bengals defense. Tavir Thomas led today in tackles with 8. But I want to shout out Sheldon Rankins, because he got credited for 3 sacks on the day. Hadn't played in a couple of weeks. We knew that Sheldon Rankins was one of the best pass rushing defensive tackles in terms of pass rush win rate. He had 3 sacks today. I mean the Houston Texans got to Joe Burrow 3 times. The other sacks, one came from Jonathan Grenard. Will Anderson Jr. should have been credited with a .5. However, to give the whole sack to Jonathan Grenard, you got to Joe Burrow. You made his life hell. Shout out to Will Anderson Jr. because there was a drive late in the game. Starts to drive off with drawing a hold penalty. Set the Bengals up on 1st and 20 and kind of ended their drive. Look, this was a bend, don't break performance from this Houston Texans defense. Like I said, you got 2 interceptions. One of them from DeAndre Houston Carson, a overthrown pass from Joe Burrow, and then the other one, like I mentioned earlier, by Shaq Griffin. You know, kind of put the game, put the game away for the Houston Texans. And then C.J. Stroud throws his second INT of the season. And it felt like the Bengals were going to run away with this game. However, this young Houston Texans team, it held them to 3 points. And then this offense scored 3 to win the game. I want to shout out this coaching staff, because for the first half, it was close. It was 7-7. I mean, the whole game was close, but it felt like a chess match between Zach Taylor, head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, and DeMeco Ryans, head coach of the Houston Texans. And I can proudly and confidently say that DeMeco Ryans won that matchup. Guys, when I look at the rest of the schedule, after the performance against the Bengals, after the performance against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there is not a team I fear on the rest of the schedule because I have number 7, CJ Stroud at quarterback. And let's have the conversation. Because after today's win, over 300 and something yards, should get conversations for MVP. But he's already a lock for Offensive Rookie of the Year. What about Offensive Player of the Year? What about MVP? CJ Stroud is playing so damn good. We are witnessing greatness, ladies and gentlemen. The Houston Texans beat the Cincinnati Bengals 30-27. They are above 500 at 5-4, the biggest win in the past 4 years. Let me know, H-Town, how you are feeling. Thank you if you were a part of today's live stream. For more Houston Texans content, y'all come back for more. Go H-Town. You guys have a very blessed day.